Okay, today's question comes from some observations that I made about my clientele. Not all my clientele are financial planners or financial advisors or realtors, but a growing number of them are. And a growing number of them are certainly calling me about questions and stuff, which I'm generously answering. So the number one time management tip for realtors and financial planners, although they are obviously very different in a lot of ways, they have one similarity, and that is they tend to get disrupted or interrupted quite a lot. Realtors get interrupted by buyers and sellers with tons of questions, from all kinds of other inputs from the mortgage company closing the deal, through the inspections, through etc. etc. It's going to commercial real estate, it gets even more complicated. I totally understand that. Financial planners or advisors also have that in a different sense, but mostly because once they get a client, they're going to spend an inordinate amount of time setting up their plan and doing a lot of research and analysis, etc., etc. It takes up a lot of time, and I understand that. So, and it's unpredictable because you get questions and then you don't know how long it's going to take doing the preparation. You don't know what can come up. So it's a lot of unpredictability, it's the bottom line, right? How do you handle that level of unpredictability? Well, realistically, you have to put in or set aside blank, what I call blank space on your calendar for that. Because you don't know how long it's going to take. So the more you put in there, the better for you. So what does that mean specifically in your calendar? It means that you don't want to crowd your day with appointments. Because chances are if you crowd your day with appointments, you're not going to get to the point. You may have to change them because of the unpredictable nature of your business. It's just what's so. You have to deal with it. So when it comes to realtors and financial planners, I try my best to get them to get their calendars to be, well, more sparse, more barren, with less appointments per week. I'm not saying don't have any appointments. You may want to have 1 or 2 per day at most, and have more blank space so you can handle the things that come your way. Now, I know some of you are extremely busy and you're way past this kind of advice. The next step for you is, well, you got to start looking at delegating or creating a team around you. I mean, that's just logically what you got to do. A lot of people ask me, can I somehow supercharge my brain? No, you can't. You're limited by biology unless you turn into a robot, which I wouldn't recommend because you may not recognize yourself as a human being anymore. Part of being a human being requires you to have certain inefficiencies, or else you feel so efficient, you probably cease to be a human being. So you don't have an alternative really, except to either expand your team or do what I just suggested, which is increase your blank space in your calendar. And if you're not doing that, then I would say that you're setting yourself up to lose in the long term. You may have business in the short term, but in the long term, you're just going to be burnt out, like a lot of financial advisors I know have been before they come to me. And then as we start working towards spreading out the calendar, it takes some new habits. You have to start incorporating new habits, because if you're spreading things out, then you have to measure how much time you're spending in these compact meetings, right? Because you're going to have 2 or 3 meetings a day or 2 meetings a day. Then you've got to make sure that these meetings are very efficient and very effective. So it requires a higher level of organization, much more than most people are used to. And that's usually most of the work, is to up the level of organization to the point where you've got to stay on track and things. And you develop the art and science of managing a meeting so you can be cool with people, not being a jerk with them, a policeman saying, I got to get through this agenda. But at the same time, elegantly managing the meeting so it flows, and at the same time you get something done, and preferably in a shorter period of time. So you got to learn how to do that. That's the price you have to pay. Nothing comes for free. If you want something, you got to pay for it somewhere, and that's the price you have to pay, is to up your level of organization. I hope that makes a difference. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And I understand that this may be abstract for some people, some of you out there. So if you want to talk more about it with me and talk about the nuances and exceptions in your business, I've seen a lot of it. I don't pretend to know all of it, obviously, but I've seen a lot of it in working with realtors and financial people to know my way around quite a bit. And so set up a free consultation with me, and you can talk and get more to the heart of the matter for you. Hope that makes a difference for you. Have a great day.